Hey everyone, so I was going to talk to you guys briefly about clothing. So when Hezi was very young, uh, well, when he was very young and still today, he's quite floppy. And even baby clothes was hard to put on him because he was so floppy. And then later on in life, he developed dystonia, which is the exact opposite of that, where we had difficulty getting him to bend his arms or his legs sometimes. Um, so I have here an example of a onesie that I modified to put snaps. I mean, onesies come with snaps at the bottom, but that's about it. And with Hezi being so floppy, it was just so hard to get it over his head and over his arms and everything like that. So I what I did is I bought one of those snap makers. This one does plastic snaps um, that you basically do yourself. Uh, so I cut up the onesie down the middle and put the snaps in. I realized that the the nice thing about the plastic is they don't get extremely hot in the dryer, but the negative side of these snaps is they're quite bulky. Might be a little hard to see, but they're at least twice as thick, if not more, than the metal buttons. Um, and the other thing I noticed, if you're trying to do tummy time with your child, because they're so much thicker, I think they're a little uncomfortable for tummy time. So I did try metal snaps at one point. Um, so here's an example of one where I cut it down off to the side, which makes it a little more comfortable for tummy time or doing sideline. Um, on this one, this is the metal tool that I bought. You can get them at Walmart or Joann's. Um, these are spaced about, I don't know, almost 3 inches, 2.5, 3 inches apart. It's probably spaced apart a little farther than you probably want for like a onesie, but it works. It made it easier for us to put shirts on him. And then here's another example of that with a sweatshirt. So I just went ahead and cut it down the middle, put the snaps on it. I also used some taping just to seal off the edges. And it seems to work. It worked for us for a long time, especially as, when you start getting to the older age bracket, it's hard to find clothing with snaps already in them. For young babies, snaps are all over the place. But as the child gets a little bit older, they stop making snaps. The last method that was rather nice, which didn't require a special tool other than a sewing machine, is my dad actually was able to find basically this type of pre-made material with a bunch of snaps on it. Now, I think they make these in different distances where the snaps are further apart. This is just what he happened to find and gave to me. There's an awful lot of buttons. So in truth, when we use this, we actually ended up snapping like every other button because it's a lot of snaps to do. I would say look for one with not as many or not as close together. But it's nice because use it as the tape instead of having to do, like with this method, I have to tape the edge and then put the buttons on it. This is an all-in-one, which is nice. The buttons are already on it, so you don't have to buy the special snap machine. It's just, I do know that this stuff is hard to come by. I don't think I found it at regular Joann's, possibly Amazon or a specialty fabric store, but often the generic fabric stores, it's just hard to find this type of thing. So that's my little tidbit. If you have a child that is either extremely floppy and it's hard to get clothes on them, or if they're also dealing with dystonia. I know, I don't have an example of it, but putting pajamas on him is at one point was near impossible because one of his legs was almost always stiff, and for several months we had a hard time just putting pants on him in terms of PJs. So we always used separate bottoms and tops because it was just easier. Um, and having buttons for like a onesie or even just a top makes it easier to take it off if he's having dystonia and his arm is completely straight and you cannot get them to bend it. At least you can. It's just a lot easier when there are buttons in the front. So that's something that worked for us. If I find links to this type of thing, I will definitely add it. This is not something I purchased online. It's something that my dad actually found, I think, in San Francisco, of all places. So I'm not really sure where to buy this, but if I ever find a place, or if you know of a place, definitely let me know the website and I will link it to the bottom of my post. So thanks for watching.